Thank you for staying with us. Unfortunately, we're starting our hot topic on a somber note. And we're turning to a deeply disturbing story out of northwest Nigeria. 25 schoolgirls were abducted from the government girls' comprehensive secondary school in Maga, Kebbi State, in a pre-dawn raid by armed gunmen. According to police, the assailants arrived on motorcycles around 4 a.m., opened fire, scaled the school fence, and kidnapped the girls from their dormitories. Tragically, the vice principal was shot dead during the attack. Security forces, backed by military units and local vigilantes, have launched a massive search. The federal government, including the president, has vowed that rescuing the girls is top priority. But this isn't just another kidnapping. It's another heart-wrenching reminder of the insecurity bedeviling our country. What does this say about the security strategy and protection of school children? And will the girls be brought home safely? What are your thoughts on this? And we would like for you to join the conversation on 0201-635-2013 or 090-241-63440. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect using the hashtag #YourView on TVC. Ladies, here we are again, sadly, talking about yet another school kidnapping. A group of girls have had their lives forever changed for the worse, you know, because of this incident. What were your initial thoughts when you heard this story?
So this is a school kidnapping, too many to count, yet we're having it. Because I say so because I remember when the Chibok girls were trending, we were very agitated. There were confusing stands left and right as to, you know, who and how is it possible such a huge style of kidnapping could happen in Borno then. And then we moved on to the Chibok girls never being rescued, a few of them escaping, still unresolved murder till today, murder and kidnapping and attack, majorly unresolved because, you know, those that were able to escape were celebrated, but those that were never rescued. There was nothing we could have done. There was nothing that, you know, was done for them. And then we had that of Kebbi State, the Dapchi girls in 2018 that followed President Buhari. So Chibok had happened under President Jonathan, then the Dapchi girls. That of President Buhari, yes, we were able to resolve, but we still have one girl missing till date. So we still have an unresolved kidnapping, almost as if, you know, they're putting their marks and why the female gender. Then we had a Yobe school attack prior to that, so where all the boys, an all-boys school, were actually just first ones and murdered boys. And that's, you know, we were not able to, mostly not get closure. Dapchi was a bit better. Most of the girls were returned. We have a major, I'm trying to get the girl's name quickly, that, you know, we could not ever find because she said, I would not... she won't convert. She won't
convert.
You know, so Dapchi girls were a mixed school of girls, and, you know, they released every other girl. Then we moved on from Dapchi to this one. You know, so after Dapchi, we didn't have any major school attack I can recollect immediately. But
we had
this
one
is
in 2021, Jangebe Girls School.
Okay.
And, you know, I think about 370 students were kidnapped.
Were they released?
Before, no.
Before
still
this?
Had,
So, okay, so... But President Buhari was rumored at the time to have settled with the bandits who picked the girls. It was rumored that they had to pay a ransom for their release.
Remember the...
Yes, and it was handled by the NSA under him at the time. And, you know, criticism were left. But, you know, as covert as this kind of things have to be, they had to cover up what was done. What would Nigerians would like to see is a proper get into their rescue mission kind of, and rescue the girls. But our reality is that sometimes we then have to negotiate because we do not know which actor is behind, you know, the group in question. And so some of us overthink these things. When this broke, I've not taken a stand. I've been waiting for, you know, a news to break on a development, you know, so that I can handle it better. But we're still here. No major breakthrough, except that, you know, the president has now drafted the vice president to visit the families of the girls in which state is it now? Kebbi. Now to, you know, to commiserate with them, because I don't see what the vice president will be doing I would have expected that the chief of army staff has a plan, and that, you know, that plan, even if it cannot be exposed, will be suggested that something major will be done, and that's where we are right now. Almost helpless.
He said it's rescue.
So,
Everybody on board.
Because you know, Nima has started mentioning the
Past incidents.
yes, I would like to just give the number to a total of 6 of what we've had so far. So we had Chibok girls in 2014, we had the Dapchi in 2018, that was 4 years later, and for each one we had the number of students that were taken. Dapchi was about 110. Then we also had the Kangara Science Secondary School, that's for the boys that you talked about, and you know, about 300 students were kidnapped in that one. We had the Jangebe Girls School that happened in Zamfara State, and it was around 317. Then we had the Kuriga School, which happened in March 2023, and we had a total number of 287 students. While we're still resting from, you know, some of those ones that had happened, we're not having this particular one that just happened in Kebbi with 25 students kidnapped. It's very unfortunate that it seems like after a few years, a schoolgirl or schoolboy incident would happen where kidnappers would go in and operate for hours without any interruptions. They'll be there for hours. They got there for like 3:30. That's when the residents started hearing the noises, and they operated till they were done, and we did not have any interruption from, you know, the security officials. And I understand how the North can be because of the very vast land you have. If you have been to the North, especially in those states, you see that you can have a house here and many kilometers before you see another dwelling. So I understand how it can be difficult to, you know, have, you know, security respond immediately. But because we've been having incidences like this, every school in the North, we should have made provisions to have a form of security close by. It's not now we're going to say, you know how distant it is and all of that. We've been having issues like this from 2014. So that should have, it's about being proactive right now. That should have given us that.
No, we're not going anywhere. I just wanted to, you know, let's just maybe talk about the girls first of all, and then we'll now go into what we should have done.
Now, talking about the girls, I read one of the accounts where the wife of the principal, vice principal that was, you know, killed came out to narrate that they had walked in and then asked the man if he was the person in charge, the chief security in charge of the school, and he said yes, and they shot him. He had to just beg them, let me sit down before you shoot me. And as he sat down, they shot him in the chest and he died. And then they asked the wife to follow them, to take them to where the hostel is. The wife refused, only for the daughter to come out, and then that one led them, took the daughter, what do they call it, with the gun, to where the students are. Well, getting there, some of the students decided to hide. The rest came out. One particular one, according to a parent who had lost, he has 2 girls in the school. One refused to come out. They hid. She locked the door and she refused. They were calling her by her name. She refused to come out. And then the ones that came out, they led them away. And they had a field day leading them away. Many of the parents of those students are not able to eat. They are not able to sleep. They are worried about the whereabouts of their children. This is very, very disheartening. There's nothing we can say here that can alleviate their pain.
No.
And that's why we need the security officials, we need the government to do whatever it takes. In fact, that place should be surrounded now before they go far. Because it happened, that was the day before yesterday. Before they go out of the forest, that place should be surrounded. I know that the government has ordered, you know, the security chiefs and the security agencies to, you know, do what they can to make sure that they fish out those people before they take them far. Only God can protect those girls.
True.
We don't know their audios right now.
Tokwe?
You know, there's some, every parent does not want to hear, you know, when you see your phone ring and it's from the school, every parent's heart just first does begin, like, what's going on? And this is the kind of news no parent wants to hear. Like, no parent wants to hear. A Yoruba proverb says, like, if a child dies, you mourn and you know it's over. But if a person's child just disappears, you don't have closure.
Never.
Like you don't know what's happening. You just feel, maybe have I given up too soon? Am I moving on with my life?
Yeah.
And many parents, especially within the northern part of Nigeria, have suffered this till today. Some don't know where their children are. Should they continue living their life? Should they not be happy? Should they attend weddings? Should they have a life? The emotional trauma of the parents, that their children have been kidnapped, as well as the emotional trauma of the ones whose children were not kidnapped, but you want your child to go to school now. Every other village around that area, your child wants to go to school in the morning, you cannot release your child, or you are scared as the child is going. There's a lot of the fear. I am sure that every other boarding school there, their parents would have gone there to go and sort of like, let my child be in my house. If anything will happen, I'll be there. I'll die before my child is getting kidnapped. We sometimes just quote the statistics of the number of what has happened, the number of people that have died, those that were rescued, number of kidnapping. But we're not quoting the trauma. We can't quantify the trauma and the fear and the challenge to life that all these parents and the entire society goes through. And for me, that is where the leadership should start from. Put human face and feelings to what people are going through. Because if you just look at the numbers, it is easy for you to feel like we rescued majority. But if you rescue majority, you did not save them from the trauma. Their life, you've disrupted their life. Some children will never go to school because the parents are scared that I don't want my child to get kidnapped. So we are not putting, until we are able to do that more, when we account for this, the paper will carry the number, many people will talk about the numbers, but we're not talking about the emotional impact on these people. And it's such a sad time for this to happen, when we are still trying to assure the world that we have a hang on what is going on. You don't need to come now. US, we don't need your help. We know what we're doing, we're working. And then under your nose, a group of people are taking. It doesn't speak well for us right now. And as much as possible, I want and I know we all want these children to be rescued, not just because the children need to be rescued, but because on a global scale, this what just happened is sending a message to the entire globe, to the world, about our inability to manage our affairs. And when we show how we are unable to manage our affairs, it beckons to say, let us come and support you since you can't handle it, which we don't want. So the president, the entire security structure, the chief of staff, everybody involved in protecting lives and property need to go beyond all that they do on a normal day to ensure that these children are rescued and we prevent it from happening going forward, so that we strengthen our democracy, we strengthen ourselves as a sovereign nation, that we can protect our people. This doesn't look good at all. And once again, our heart goes out to all the family, everyone involved, the people that died, the ones that we cannot even know where they are right now. I can't even imagine how they are feeling this morning.
Thank you, Tokwe. Just, this morning I was seeing an update from the Commissioner of Basic and Secondary Education in Kebbi State, and she was saying that there were actually 26 students and two of them escaped. So there are 24. That's according to that update. There are 24 of them that are abducted. Let's go on a short break. When we come back, we'll look deeper into this, what could have gone wrong, what we could have done better, and also our phone lines will be open because we'd like for you to join the conversation. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thank you for staying with us. We're still discussing the recent kidnappings that happened in Kebbi State, the 25 schoolgirls that have been kidnapped. And, earlier we talked about, how we felt, and it's still the same heartbreak, about such a tragedy. But, I feel that we have cried enough, said, oh, it's sad enough. Now I just want to hear, a part of me just like, fix this. Enough of this. We are commiserating with the family. We are sorry, I just don't want to hear that. I want to hear fix it. And I remember the Safe School Initiative, where government has earmarked billions of naira towards this. And what is it about? It's a policy that it's supposed to, an initiative really, to protect schools, especially schools in the northern area, especially the areas that have constantly been, faced attacks like this, to protect them, make sure that infrastructure is proper, their security is current. Intelligence that is needed to protect the school is, is consistent. And if we have such an initiative, why do we still have this case? Why do we even have a case like this happening? Where has all the money gone? What are we really doing?
So the Safe Schools Initiative, as far as I'm concerned, was a laudable project, only announced. It wasn't followed through.
Bam.
2015 to date, I think there was a lax by government on the follow-up of this. So the Safe Schools Initiative was not only done because of the Northern Schools attack, even though that was why it was initiated. There were also other schools attacks within Lagos. Remember the Ikorodu, I think? Mm-hmm. Yes, attacks within schools in Lagos that made other states, even in the Southwest, jump on the Safe Schools Initiative. But a full inventory of this would show, a place like Maga, where one of the high-risk areas, we had then in Borno State, some schools moved because the areas. Go on.
Yeah. Let me take this call. Musa. Good morning, Musa.
Good morning, beautiful ladies of your view.
Thank you, Mr. Musa.
Yeah, like this topic that is on now, naturally, we don't need to sugarcoat this issue again. This problem has been coming during the time of Jonathan, Yaradua, Buhari, Tinubu. At least, I don't think that they can do anything reasonable about this insecurity. At least we should allow America to come in and flush these idiots. If not, we'll still continue having the same problem. If we continue like this, we have to be very frank with ourselves. Forget about issue of politics and belong to this party. This issue is for everybody, directly or indirectly. Everybody is involved. No need of sugarcoating again. We have to be very frank with this so that we can solve it once and for all. That is it. That is my position.
Thank you, Musa.
So the Safe Schools Initiative for me was, something that wasn't followed through. I was saying that, one of the agenda for that was that, some schools would be relocated because they were in high-risk areas. Remember that, Chibok was one of those areas. The girls were later taken to certain other safe, more populated areas for their exams. And being isolated is one of the things that puts schools at risk. Maga is one of such community. And we've seen that, the safe schools did not follow through. If this was a way to examine, review the performance of the Safe Schools Initiative, this is a zero mark.
Yeah, if we were to look at it, was there intelligence?
There was no intelligence, no high perimeter fencing, no CCTV, no proper security. The chief security of the school was the vice principal and one security man who was shot and wounded. Nothing was shown from the partners of the Safe Schools Initiative, which, of course, came majorly from, our security agencies. And so that was one thing I queried when this attack happened. And, it's just sad to be here. I would like to see, proper consequence for whatever. An audit of what was done. Funding was raised for Safe Schools Initiative.
Yes, still
arms were purchased for Safe Schools Initiative. More personnel were hired for the Safe Schools Initiative. And now a school has been attacked, the same style that we know. I said 3, BC said 6. In the number of years that has passed, where we have our children between 9 and 18 taken out of class and murdered. This is, of course, going to cause a serious apathy around education. Up north already, there's a sort of a resistance towards some form of education. Now, when the environment is not safe, parents will be further discouraged to bring their kids to schools. Kids themselves will be further traumatized and discouraged to attend school. And this was some of the things that the Safe Schools Initiative was supposed to avert, and we're here.
We have another call. Dominic from Alimosho. Good morning, Dominic.
Good morning. My name is Reverend Dominic. How are you?
Reverend Dominic. Good morning.
Good morning. Can I go on?
Please, go ahead.
Please, I want to ask this question, and I'm asking it with due respect. What did the gay side do to Nigerian nation? Do we need to Trump to say we are committing genocide against our children? Since the first kidnap in Chibok, that has continued, maybe not in large number, and nobody defends the gay child. Let me say this to you girls. I have 3 girls and 1 boy. It pains my heart every day when I hear this happen. Let me repeat myself, and yesterday I have 20 calls from the north insulting me. We can stop this matter. We can stop this insult. How? How is that? We don't blame anybody when something happened in Nigeria. When this information came last 2 weeks, they're going to attack the school. The governor of the state got it. The authorities in the Kebbi got it. And they did nothing. Today, I heard Mr. President trying to, communicate with the governor of Kebbi. Why? Governor, you got the intel. Even though there's no police in that school, you have enough police in your office to protect you, to send 3 or 4 to that school to protect these innocent girls. The governor did nothing. Now he's sitting down for we to sympathize with him. We must do something here. We can stop this. We don't need to call Trump. How do we stop it? If the politicians in the north, the governors in the north, the religious leaders in the north do what the Niger Delta did, in the days of Niger Delta, the vice president, which is from Niger Delta, went back home and they came together and said enough is enough. Until the leaders of the north, come together and say it's not shameful. How we sell our children and buy them. We are going to buy them again now. They're not giving no quotation, and we must buy them. We're not going with force. If you go with force, you kill these children.
Oh, thank you, Reverend Dominic, for your contribution. Tokwe, so if just listening to our callers and everyone seems to say, especially in a world where our country, you also alluded to it, in the country where we are just trying to we're trying to determine the narrative of how we've handled this matter. Determine the narrative of how that word genocide, of how we're perceived. Is there a genocide? But there's something, Reverend Dominic said, it's a genocide against our girl child, and
against our children.
What does this really say? You have started talking about, and I would like you to see if you can go deeper. What does this really say about our country? And if it means that we are incapable of protecting our children, why then are we so resistant of external help?
I was going to talk I was going to talk about the first caller who said that we should actually just go and meet America to help us and resolve the issue. And while I understand the pain of every parent, I probably cannot imagine how the parents whose children have been kidnapped are going through in actual fact, but I can understand it. I would say that asking for the foreign help based on the antecedents of where the foreign help have been to in the past, it doesn't really help. When they come like they are helping, they haven't really helped. What I feel that, so the conversation, a lot of Nigerians feeling that, having that feeling of, these people are not helping us, the government hasn't done anything, the government is not solving the problem, let's America come and help us. It's a valid feeling, but we also need to be careful, because if you study the antecedents of this country that you say they should come and help you, they haven't really helped in other places where they came in. If they are giving you intelligence or supporting you with ammunition or all those kind of things, better, but not that they're
asking for collaboration, better.
Collaboration as opposed to invasion, because if they say they're coming to help you, it's more like they are. If American soldiers put their foot on ground here, it's a different game entirely. A few Nigerians don't understand it, but I'm going to appeal to you to do a little bit of research. You all have a smartphone. Do a bit of research and check what benefits would come from having these people on ground. But to what you're saying, that
before we get into that side, let me just take Yakub's call. Good morning, Yakub.
Miriam, and then good morning, Sister Otoko and Sister Nima. Good morning.
Good morning.
I totally agree with Reverend Dominic. I totally agree with him, because this thing has been happening. Can you hear me?
Yeah. We can hear you, sir.
Can you hear me at all?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, thank you. So this thing has been happening for a while. And then Nigerian government, not even this very particular government, since from the President Jonathan up to now, they were failing Nigerian citizens to protect our school. See, Miriam, the governor in this country as of today, do you know they were becoming so rich because of the security vote? They were collecting this money from the federal government, security vote. At the end of the day, if something like this happens, they will tell you that they just called them security of their state by mouth. They are not secure anything. Okay, the security for the money you guys are collecting. What are you using it for? Who is accountable for all these things? And then I totally also agree with Sister Sope this morning. If somebody said Trump should come down, should come and help us, it is a lie from the pit of hell. we can help ourselves if you really want to do so. One thing I want Nigerian government to do today is this. We don't want to know how they do it. Whether to pay the ransom, whether to do anything, they should get all these guys out. We don't want to know. If you don't want to tell us that you pay ransom, we know how much you are spending before. Just do whatever you can, then get these guys out. And then by so doing, and then they should follow what one of my mentor, Babajide Otitolo, said yesterday on Journalist Hangout, that says that if they get this guys out, Nigerian military, they should go all out. They should declare war on these bandits, so-called bandits, because they are Boko Haram. They are not a bandit. They just manipulate. They just changing the name to bandits. I don't believe they are bandits. They are Boko Haram. They should declare total war, and then they should be attacking them all angles, so that we can get rid of these people. So nobody can just tell us that Trump should come and help us. In fact, they said yesterday when.
Oh, looks like we lost Yakub.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go on a short break. When we come back, we'll continue our conversation. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thank you for staying with us. Tope, you were
I was saying before Yakub's call came in that we don't want foreign help, even though we want foreign help. We want foreign collaboration as opposed to them putting foot on ground, which is invading us. And then I was going to move on to say that our security personnel actually can handle this situation if given everything it takes. If given everything it takes. If given that if you don't do this, this is what will happen to you. One of our callers mentioned lack of consequences. When kidnappings happen and nothing happens, we did not find them again, nobody got fired, there was no consequence, then people will just feel like, when we apologize, they shall know that it passed us. It passed us now. But when we have consequences and there is all the resources that they need, I do not believe that our military does not have capacity to flush out these people.
They do.
I believe that they do. Okay. Nima and I mentioned something during the break that we haven't brought up, which is that what we are doing, and many people have mentioned it online, that the fact that we keep forgiving when people come out and say we have dropped arms, it doesn't help us in fighting insecurity. Somebody comes out and says, I'm no longer kidnapping, I did not know. Rehabilitation is not what we need right now because we have a major problem. I feel that there must be firm consequences like the one they used to do when they will hang them or do firing squad. That public execution would send a message. Consequences to the kidnappers, consequences to the security, our politicians that seem not to understand what they are meant to do, local government chairmen, DPOs, the entire security apparatus that is failing us, because they are actually failing us. If you are failing us and you cannot do it, either you resign or face the consequences of failing us, then we will have a more holistic solution. But until we are doing that, I still feel that we're just playing lip service to the idea that we want to secure lives and property. With this system, we are not really going to end up doing a proper thing.
So I personally think that the government needs to take this serious. And this is not just the federal government. Because anytime we mention government, everybody looks to the federal.
I mention local government too.
The state governments need to ask themselves, how am I protecting the lives and properties of the people in my care as the governor of the state? Now, taking it back to what Nima had mentioned earlier, the Safe Schools Initiative, that initiative was formed by the Global Business Coalition for Education and the UN Special Envoy for Global Education, Gordon Brown, in collaboration. It's supposed to be in collaboration with governments so that they can, do the partnerships together, relocate the children to, safer environment, create safer security for the students and for the schools, train the security officials, liaise with the police. There were a lot, and they had gathered money to do this. Now, it's not for them who do not have the problem to push to do this. That's why I expected the governors of each state to identify, okay, what are we lacking? Where is the lacuna in our state? And insists, follows through with the school's initiative, because they provided the funds already. They are not the ones from the places where they are running their businesses that will come and be calling the Kebbi governor or the Katsina governor or the Sokoto governor to say, come, we're ready. You would be the one saying, okay, these are the issues we have. These are the number of schools that are in my place. These are some of the security we want. We have spoken to the police. We need funding for this and all. We need to see more serious-minded governors in dealing with these insecurity issues. And I always say, if their children were in these schools, this is not the kind of sit back we're going to be seeing. They will move. If I have a child in a particular school and I know that that area is dangerous, we will gather ourselves as parents and we say, what are we going to do to protect? That is what we expect the governors to do. We cannot leave all the work for the federal government. The federal government has, the supervision.
There's local government autonomy now.
Yes, there's local government as well. Your local government chairman should be asking, where are the schools? Which securities are in the schools? How do we have a rapid response team that are located, situated in this area, so that if anything is happening, they are making calls. We need more serious-minded leaders. We have paid lip service to this issue for a very long time. It's not about going to visit the bereaved parents and the people that they've lost their children to say, we commiserate with you. Because we don't want to commiserate with anybody right now. We need the job to be done. What are the governments doing? Governors doing when they gather for those their meetings that they do regularly? What sort of discussions are they having in terms of their state? You cannot be a governor in your state and you are slacking as the chief executive security officer of your state, and you are slacking. You are waiting for President President Tinubu to come and be calling security chiefs all the time. What have you done as a governor to say, this and this is what I have done, this is where I need your help, please help me, and shout it so that we will know that you are doing something.
So as much as I understand that, this defense of this country or any parameter of the country is not exactly within the office of any governor.
Yes.
I know that gathering intelligence is within their office, and that there's a security vote for that. It's not for you to carry your state police to the secretariat of your party. That security vote is not for you to go and do arm wrestling at the secretariat of your party. The security vote is for you to gather enough intelligence to help the military when they do come in. And not when there's a military offensive, you are negotiating with your security vote with bandits to settle them. So I was saying to talk about that, if we had public execution of bandits as opposed to forgiving and granting any bandits amnesty, we would have won this war a long time ago. Because whether the bandits had their foreign actors sponsoring any form of banditry here, we had a nation to protect, and we would have been sincere with that deal, as opposed to playing politics, which we see politicians play while in office. Use your security votes, gather enough intelligence, start a security fund to harm the legitimate security body within your country, as opposed to using them to arm boys during elections. So that we do not have elections passed and we have different groups threatening the peace and sane mind of people within your state. It's happening too many times up north, and we know it stems from a lot of things. Yes, we do agree, and I will never support America to invade this country. I do not believe they have the sincerity to help us. It will not be me that will say it.
They don't actually.
Right now, the UAE is supposed to be helping some people in Sudan while they are capturing gold without having a gold mine in the UAE. Nigeria is a blessed nation with resources. We will first of all start from what God give us to help ourselves. If we were truly sovereign, what we have will help us. So I will not even join that. But I will blame governors who cannot give the right intelligence to the military. I will also blame those who will criticize every military offensive against any group in any place. If the military has intelligence, we will distract them by having a conversation for days, as opposed to how many civilians were inside the group that they invaded. How about civilians in communities who are protective of bandits in certain communities? Did you not have a popular kidnap kingpin celebrated in a particular community? There was no line drawn. Chiefs and titled men in that. We can't keep confusing this. We need to have a nation. And that should be very important to any of us, because you see this Kolo mentality, as Fela called it, that we have, that we think that one place is coming to help us. God help us. We need to understand what was the outcome for our past leaders, for our people in the past about this kind of collaboration. Did we really win with this? Did every other African country really win with this? Is there no call for genocide in other places in Africa today? There's white genocide in South Africa. There's a reason that Trump is calling for that. Was he fighting for South Africans when he called for that? So when we start this narrative, yes, there's insecurity here and we must face it. Everybody must be accountable for it. But we cannot allow somebody give us the narrative of the kind of insecurity that we have here. Yeah. We must face it here and sincerely face it. Use our resources. We do not lack the military might. If it is not the same Nigerian military that intervene in other countries sincerely and we settle those countries, we did not go there and take over their countries.
Could we just be talking about past glory?
I think there's angle of past glory and then there are allegations of compromise within the military. That there are compromise within the military. Those allegations of compromise and complicity needs to be addressed because if it isn't addressed, what will happen is internal. Because military is not something we put our mouth into. Even the democratically elected administration cannot put their mouth into what is happening in military per se. They have their internal checks. So we know that there was a recent shake-up within the military, very, very recent, and there were allegations of why that shake-up took place and denial of why that shake-up took place. But the insecurity challenges that Nigerians are facing is still ongoing. So whether you agree, deny, or do whatever it is, point is from where we are, the average Nigerian feels like they are not safe in their country and is worse still in the northern part of Nigeria. So if that is being said and there's no controversy regarding it, it means that a lot of our security apparatus have failed in protecting people and giving a sense of protection to them. Even those that feel like there's a bit of safety is because they have created their own vigilante kind of setting where they have like a joint force.
This community also had vigilante.
Where they are supporting one another. So I feel that at the end of the day, is the security apparatus we have working for us? No, because we still have too many people suffering, kidnapped, and children being kidnapped. How can we solve it? We are doing what we can do here, but the governors will do their own. The local government chairman should do their own. Everybody must get everybody's hands must get together.
Yes. So we have to go because of time, but you know, before we leave, let's just hear like last words. BC, what would you like?
So I think they are failing because they are not telling us the truth of what is really going on. You know, when it comes to government and politics, it's not everything that meets the eye. It's not everything you see. It's not everything they can explain. I just feel that there are particular people who are behind many of these things that are happening that have tied the hands of our government officials. And they are trying to tread carefully in dealing with the bandits. Till they are able to expose those people, that's the only way they can break off the shackles and do what is needed. I believe strongly that our military has the capacity and capability to do it if they get the go from the political will of the leader. So the leaders need to come out. How will it benefit
if we continue to have this sort of, how would it benefit a political party, administration in power? Who does it really benefit?
Is everything you can see on live television?
But I know some people question out there, who does this benefit? Does it benefit the present administration? The present administration want to see this sort of thing happen during its administration. Does it benefit the people of Nigeria? Does it benefit Kebbi State? Who does this benefit? When we start to look at that, then maybe we'll get to the end of this. But we'll keep following this story. I hate to even call it just a story, because these are yet again our daughters just out there. We don't know, what's happening with them, but we'll keep following the story and we'll give you updates as we hear them. And right now we'll go on a short break. When we'll come back, we'll look at women we love for today.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.